looking at a front door hinge on a 1983 Mercedes Serenity. And a lot of people don't know that these hinges, the 60s, 70s, and some of the 80s cars had a fitting right here that would allow you to grease these hinges. It's not like a Zerk fitting. You can't use a normal grease gun. I would say that very few owners know that exists. And from my experience, these door hinges never get lubricated. And then you got this groaning door as you're trying to get it open and closed. And Mercedes used to sell a very unique little gun that came with their cars, and you could get it in here and push on it and get the grease to go in there. Well, I don't know if that's even still available, but I was able to find a comparable gun. This is it right here. That's kind of interesting. It's even made in Germany, isn't it? But I want to warn you that you can't get something like this, push it on here, and start expecting grease to come out. And I'll explain more in a second here. But in my kit, I've had to come up with a number of things that I add to this gun to make sure you can get in here and clean this out before it will take grease. There's a little spring-loaded check valve ball in here that gets seized up. That has to go in to allow the grease to go in there. And then these hinges get rusty and gummed up. So even if you're able to get that check ball loose, it's not going to take the grease. So it does require some prep work, particularly if this has not been done in years. I'm going to put this gun up here, and I'm going to see if we can get it to take the grease without doing anything else. Now see, I can't even get it to go in, so I suspect that little check ball and spring is all gummed up and frozen. So, man, I am really pushing, but you can see here, there's nothing happening. So if you're going to do this with your old Mercedes-Benz, you've got to do some prep work. Now I'm going to take you over on the right side and show you the right front door. We've already done that, and I'm going to show you how easy the grease goes in once you get this hinge cleaned up and that check ball cleaned out. Once you get the hinge loosened up and this opened up, you'll be able to get the grease in there fairly early. And if you come back and do this every year, just a few squirts, it's going to be really easy. But this now should take the grease. Watch as I push in. See, it's going, going, going. Let's see if we can actually see the grease coming out here. All right, now you can start to see it come. Look at that right there. See it? There it is. You got green grease coming out of there. When you start doing this, you'll get some black, rusty stuff coming out, and you keep working it. You don't need it gushing out like you would with a regular grease gun. If you just see evidence of grease right on these pivot points, that's enough. Let's take a look down here at the bottom one, and you can see the old grease is coming out here at the top. Take a look. You see that's kind of black and old. So a few more applications with this gun, and we should be able to see, there it comes. We got a little bit of green coming out right there. So I'm back here on the left side. We're going to try to clean this up. The first thing I recommend you do is get some cleaner degreaser and just come in and clean this hinge. But you really have to have something that's going to soak into the hinge, and we provide that in the kit along with this spring steel poker that allows you to go in and massage. You're literally going to squirt the cleaner in there and massage this until it loosens up, and you may have to work this quite a bit before it will take grease. You can see here there is an advantage in cleaning this all up with some type of cleaner degreaser before you even begin. Once it's cleaned up, I take the special penetrant that we include in the kit and this brush, and we're just going to put a little up here. This has a very high wicking ability, and we're going to put some right in here. We'll do this 2 or 3 times, but I'll just show you this single application. We're going to get it in here in this little ball valve, and then We'll put some right down in here, get it to wick. And then I'm going to take the door and just exercise the door. You may have to do this for 5 minutes and then maybe apply a little bit more, particularly if you can get it coming into the top here and right here. Because these are the pins that tend to get rusty and gummed up the most. Okay, now we'll work this for a while. So I've been working this back and forth for a few minutes here, and you can begin to see a little bit of rust coming out right here and here. And that's what you want. You want the rust coming out of this pin, and keep working this. If you don't get that pin cleaned out, and if you don't get this cleaned out, you'll never get it to take the grease. All right, we're back to that left front door where we couldn't even get this grease gun to budge. Let's see how this hinge takes the grease. Let it refill there. Here it comes right there, look at that. Now that's a little brown, but you can see a little bit of green there, so I'll maybe just push it a couple more times. All right, here we go. Oh, gee, I forgot to look down here at the bottom. You can see right there, it's going from dark to green. So this hinge is fully lubricated. We'll have to wipe this off a little bit so we don't leave the excess there. Let's come back up to the top one. Now this time I'm going to stop. Yeah, see, it's already starting to come out of the bottom there in green. You can see the green there. All right, we're good. See the difference there? If you think you're going to lube these fittings without doing a thorough cleaning and a sequence of using penetrant to loosen up the hinge, you're kidding yourself. You'll never get the grease to go into this hinge. All right. You got to see this on a W123. This is similar on the R107, the W126. There are no grease fittings on the W201 or the W124. Now, what are you going to do with some of these newer cars that don't have this? And we'll cover that in the next video.